Do I sound different?
A little, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a reason you should be sounding different?
I switched to Colgate. I had been using Crest, and now I'm a Colgate guy, and I just didn't know if you know how like minor variances in like your tongue and your teeth and all that stuff can like affect your voice. I didn't know. I just didn't know. I didn't know if maybe I would sound different now that I'm using a different toothpaste.
It really goes to show what gingivitis can do as far as the sound of our voice. So that's exciting news.
Yeah, and typically, like, I'm not a big, once you find something that's working for you, then, I'm not a big jump on it and change kind of guy. But I mean, when your sponsors change, you got to roll with the punches. So if you're not currently brushing your teeth with Colgate, yeah.
Colgate. Never leave the cave without it.
Never leave the cave without it. No, listen, I'm using a new microphone, so I don't even know, like, I have yet to record any audio and listen back to it. This is the first audio being recorded with this microphone, so I could sound like shit. I haven't got a clue. This could be really, really bad, or it could be better than anything we've, heard from me before. You sound the same.
I do sound the same. We have all, and by all, like, I mean you and I, we've both made the moves to upgrade our equipment, but the key difference is yours came in, mine is still en route due to just unable to go pick it up, but perhaps
it's arrived and it's sitting in the store that you've ordered it from.
Yeah, it's more just my schedule.
Didn't go get it.
Yeah, my schedule didn't allow for it to be picked up. But quite shortly, maybe as soon as next episode, we will all sound different. And regardless, even if we don't sound different to some, like we will sound different, but some people might not pick up on it. The main thing is it'll be a lot simpler of a process on our end and a lot less gimmicky, techniquey, backflipping and hula hoop dancing. Just to, it's been a challenge, the tech we've been using so far.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we sound better. In theory, we will sound better. But if we don't, if we just sound the same, it will take less work to get to that point.
Yes,
and so, I'm looking forward to less work.
Well, and it's exciting too with more new releases coming out. It's we got to get that content out there. And speaking of new releases,
yeah, I just wanted to say one last thing on the microphone thing.
Oh, please.
So two things. One, huge shout out to our Patreons.
Yes, please.
Patreon supporters, because you guys are the reason why this upgrade has happened. And secondly, you say we all have upgraded, and then you said just us, but technically also like the proverbial guest has also, because you know what, it matters to us that when we bring a guest in, we've been doing a lot of remote guest stuff, and a lot of that has been circumstantial. A lot of that's been COVID.
Yeah, I would say.
But it matters to us that when we are back in a position where we are bringing live guests in, right, sitting across the table from guests, that they also sound good. So we upgraded thrice. So there's 3 new microphones, all of the same variety. So again, hopefully I don't sound like shit, because if I sound bad, then then Pete picked the wrong microphone for us to order. But yeah, but I forgive you. Yeah. So new releases. Also, I want to say to you, I mean, it's obviously no surprise that we're reviewing a Pixar film today.
Sure.
and this is something that's been toying around in my mind quite a bit, and it kind of bunny trails off of, like, we were just, before we sat down and started recording, we were talking about our calendar and our schedule, our release schedule, and it's funny that I didn't think we'd ever reach this point, but like, this is the end of June, or like, the fourth quarter of June, and the calendar's like till like January of next year. Like we're it's things are planned.
Things are filling up.
And so, which is exciting. Just because, it's like, it adds this tangibility to it. You can see all the new releases that are coming, and so anyways, yada, yada, yada. There's a couple of potentially open slots in our calendar, though, because there's like one or two new release films that we're like, maybe we'll do, maybe we won't do. But we've kind of, they're kind of penciled in anyways. If there's one of those that we don't end up doing, an episode that I would like to do, and I'm going to bring it up to you now on the show so that if you're like, no, I don't think it's a good idea, you have the wrath of the people to deal with. Anytime you and I talk about Pixar films,
okay,
we've kind of coined, I think maybe I initially brought it up, but then you kind of, like, it's kind of become a Movie Men thing, that there are tiers. There are different levels of Pixar films. And I'm sure today's conversation will not be exempt from that in any way. But what we need is an episode where we sit down and we rank all of the Pixar films.
Heck yeah.
We just dedicate an episode to being like, okay, here, starting at the bottom of the barrel in the moldy wood tier is Toy Story 4. And then, I just think it'd be fun. I think it would be fun to sit and like just rank them all. Just talk about all the Pixar films. There's a couple Pixar films I haven't seen, so I would have to I'd have to research. Like, I haven't seen Brave, so I got to go watch Brave.
Oh, okay.
And then I think there's like 17 Cars movies that maybe I have to watch.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to, because then, it's an excuse for me to totally flesh out my viewed library of Pixar films. But also I just think, I think it could be fun. I think it could be fun to come up with a definitive list in an episode of like, where does each Pixar film fall? So I'm planting that seed for you.
So, you really put me on the spot. So you can edit this part out, but that's never happening. No, I'm totally trolling. So, the first thing I'll say is I definitely was caught flat-footed because that's not where I thought the conversation was going. When you said when you said tiers, and I now realize you meant like the bronze and silver and gold and platinum, etc. I thought you meant actual like tiers, like running down your face. And the first thing I jumped to was I thought you were going to say we have to and must review all the Cars movies, and hence the tiers. And I was like, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if that's like, I don't know if the Cars films are so much tears of joy or tears of sadness as much as they are like if you were standing near an open septic bed and it was causing your eyes to water because of the fumes. Like, I wonder if that's maybe more factually accurate.
For many reasons and on many different levels, that is a much more applicable comparison.
It's a more apt description, yeah.
But yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm going to make a list. There's a few things we got to get to someday, so that is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, today we are doing a new release, which we touched on before, and we also are doing a Pixar, obviously, which is why your conversation just came up now. But we are reviewing the new Pixar film, Luca.
Yeah. The only Pixar film with more cheese references than Ratatouille.
Potentially. I haven't seen Ratatouille, so I can't confirm or deny.
Neither have I, but I mean, it's about a mouse who cooks, so I feel like,
And I'm just looking at this now. The last 3 Pixar films we've reviewed is new releases, and actually the last 4, I stand corrected, the last 4 are new releases, being Luca, Soul, and Onward, and Toy Story 4, which was like,
and
I
The
believe
Incredibles 2.
Third. We did Incredibles 1, but not Incredibles 2.
Didn't we do Incredibles 2?
I don't think so. I know we did Toy Story 4 because I feel like that was like episode 2 or 3. Like that was really early on. And speaking of tears, I do remember more tears occurring for TS4. But yeah, Luca.
Yeah. So Pixar, which means I was excited going into it. It also means I think that it's probably held to a higher standard than had I been going into any other animated film. And you know what? So this will be, like you said, this is our 4th then. This is our 4th Pixar film that we are reviewing as a new release. And to date, we have not unanimously liked a Pixar film. Right? So I hated Toy Story 4. You didn't. I don't think you hated it the way I hated it, but you agreed that it wasn't top tier Pixar.
Yeah, I feel that's fair to say. I definitely didn't like it, but I feel the hate was stronger on your side. I was just disappointed, I think.
Sure. Onward, we were both like, this could have been much better. Like Onward, we rewrote Onward and made it better.
Yes.
I don't remember what our rewrite was, but we made it better.
We did.
I know it had to do with like the stepdad and stuff like that. Yeah. And then Soul, I got a kick out of Soul. I thought that Soul was pretty cute, but Soul fell kind of flat for you.
I think you're right. I'm noticing the pattern of, other than Onward, it was kind of a bit of a flip flop going on, and yeah, the same was with Soul. I was less into it.
Right. So it'll be interesting. So I'm interested to see going into this. But it's, to me, like often when we do an episode, most of the time, our show is about, is this a good movie?
Sure.
And I feel like there's an extra layer today where it's not just, is this a good movie? It's, is this a good Pixar movie? Because I feel like the two are not exclusive, or like mutually exclusive, right? So I feel like you could have a great movie, but it's not a good Pixar movie. Which is kind of in a lot of ways what I felt about Onward, right? Like had Onward come from Illumination or from Sony Animations or DreamWorks or any of those, I would have been like, yeah, it's a cute film. It's fun. But I was like, but this is supposed to be Pixar? Like, I'm not here for this if this is Pixar. Right. So it's just interesting going into this. I'm like, okay, is it a good movie? But more importantly, is this a good Pixar movie?
Yep.
So initial thoughts. Do you have trivia? You don't always have trivia for new releases.
No, new releases can be hit or miss. I don't have any in the form of questions. They're very brief, quick statements that I'll share.
Sure.
So this is the first Pixar movie to not have John, is it Ratzenberger?
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice who is literally he plays Ham in Toy Story. He plays varying roles of importance, but he's a kind of a key voice in up to now almost every Pixar film. So he was not in this film. And also, this film, it celebrated Pixar's 35th anniversary.
Wow. 35 years since Toy Story.
No, so that's what I was looking into. So Toy Story didn't come out till 95, which would not be
right. I was going to say, I'm older than Toy Story.
Yeah.
So something's wrong there.
But I guess, obviously, like many companies, and I guess many creative companies or meeting of the minds, it took some time for them before they actually released their first mainstream product. So, not
right.
that...
They had like a bunch of, like,
Yes.
I think they start... What's so great about the fact that Pixar films often... Not this one. This one didn't have a short in front of it.
Right.
But Pixar films used to have shorts. And you know what? Maybe it's just because we watched it on Disney Plus. Like maybe had it been in the theater, it would have had a short. Because I'm thinking any of the other Pixar films that had shorts play in front of them before the theater, I also don't think those are like they're present on Disney Plus, but they're present on Disney Plus as individual shorts. They don't play before Monsters Inc. When you sit down to watch Monsters Inc., it just plays Monsters Inc. for you.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think you're right. But yeah, 35th anniversary of the collective group, not 35th anniversary of the first film, but still significant.
Cool. So give me your initial. I have no idea. We haven't talked about this at all. I don't know. I don't know what you think of this movie at all.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, you know me, and I know you. It's nice to just dip into something new. We've as a collective, as a group, as a society, we've gone through a time where we've had to give up some normal activity, and although and I don't think you did either, we did not see it in theaters, it was still nice to watch something new and have a new release and have that little bit of normalcy kind of return back to us. So as far as gathering around the TV and doing something fun in that capacity, I was excited. And it's an interesting film, I would say. I can say that much so far. I think in a nutshell, what I took away from it, what I thought was interesting, is a film about celebrating our differences and not judging one another, and, just generally being open and accepting to one another. And I think there's some merit in that, obviously, and it can be told in a fun way. But, I think I'll just say it flat out. I don't think it was a great Pixar film, and I don't think it was bad. I just definitely don't think it's near the best, and I don't think it had enough moments near enough to make me get the warm and fuzzies to elevate it to a higher level. And I think the one thing that's detrimental is it didn't win me enough. It didn't win me over enough in various parts of the film to have the rewatch value, which I think is key for Pixar, because once you get the rewatch, you get the nostalgia going, you get to appreciate things a bit more, the nuances that you maybe missed the first time, the details, and I don't think that's there for me. I don't think I'll ever feel the need to rewatch it again, just because when you have the list of Pixar films out, there's like a good half dozen that are just classics that I would rather rewatch. And there's still a few that I still need to see for the first time that I think are genuinely potentially good from what I've heard. So all those are way ahead of the pecking order for me to ever watch it again, which is, again, detrimental to this film. So was it a bad film? No. But it definitely wasn't a great film, and maybe we can get into some reasons why. But yeah, generally that's what I think. You kind of made that kind of point at the beginning, being a good or bad film just in general, but then also where does it rank with being the status of a Pixar film? And to me, it wasn't a great film.
Wow.
Yeah. What now? The real question is, what do you think? And are we on the same side of the table, or are we seeing opposite again?
Well, I think the streak continues. Listen.
Okay.
So, is it platinum? No, I'm not going to put it in the platinum category. I would defend gold though.
Oh wow.
Listen, it's weird because while I was watching the film, the direction that my review was going to take took a turn. Because I would say right up until the third act of the film, I was, I think, in the same boat as you. I was like, this is a cute film. I like this movie. I don't feel like it's a Pixar movie. And I was really racking my brain trying to figure out, well, what does that mean? Like, what is it? Because I said the same thing about Onward. And I'm like, what is it that why did Onward not feel like a Pixar movie to me, but Soul did? And I was racking my brain and I was trying to figure out, what is it? What am I looking for? Am I just impossible to please? Am I just really picky? Like, what am I looking for? To me, what is a Pixar film? And so then I started thinking about my platinum tier Pixar movies. Like some of the Toy Story movies. And I'm like, okay, all right. Like Monsters, Inc. And I'm like, okay. Like Finding Nemo. And I'm like, all of these films are films that if they feature humans, they feature them very much so in the background. Humans are not the predominant characters in these films in any way whatsoever. All of them have humans, but they're not about humans. Bug's Life. I haven't seen Bug's Life, but I'm guessing it's probably a platinum tier Pixar film. Or at least gold. And again, I don't know if there's humans in it, but if there is, it's definitely not about the humans. Now, listen, I know that Onward was not about humans, but it was basically about humans. Like the fact that they were magical was unique to, that was like a standout thing, but they could have just been magical people. There was nothing inherent about the fact that they weren't humans that played into the story, right? Like in Toy Story, the fact that they are toys is crucial. That is a part of it.
Yep.
Finding Nemo, the fact that they're freaking fish that matters. That is a crucial part of the story. In Monsters, Inc., it is crucial because they are scaring humans. Because humans play a role, and that role is that they are not the main characters. And Onward, I just felt like, you know what? These could be people, and the whole magic thing would still work, and it wouldn't really, like, whatever troll or elf or whatever the main character was, he could have been a person, and it wouldn't have changed the story. And so I think that for me was playing a factor. So I think this movie started and I'm like, it just doesn't feel Pixar because, yes, these two are monsters, sea monsters, and that matters. That's crucial to the story. However, there's just a lot of people. There's a lot of people. But then something happened for me in the third act. Like once the race starts, I don't know, man. The race starts, and actually, not even the race. Like when we discover that Alberto is abandoned. Yeah. And there's that heartfelt moment, and then the race happens, and then there's more heartfelt moments, and I don't know, that for me something turned at that point, and I was like, oh, this film is amazing. This is a wonderful Pixar movie. And so yeah, I don't know, and maybe maybe I need more time to sit on it and think about it, but I don't know. Yeah, I was easily swayed. I went from I don't like this to I like this quite a bit.
Oh wow! And that's a pretty big. It's a significant swing.
It was a significant swing for sure, and yeah, it's it's fun. I mean, it's a good, even if we're not going to say it's a good Pixar movie, it's a good movie. It's a cute, fun movie. It's beautifully animated, right? Like Pixar films are just becoming more and more stunning to watch. And I don't think there's anyone out there who does Rain as good as Pixar does. Like when the rain is happening during that biking scene and he's going around the streets, it was like the one thing that stunned me and blew me away about Toy Story 4 is that opening scene when RC is stuck in the gutter and it's rain and you're like, is this animated? Like,
right.
This just looks real.
Right.
So yeah, the film's beautiful to look at.
Well, and you hit on one thing. Visually, Pixar never drops the ball, and I think combined with being in the colorful backdrop of Italy was just two great things merging together, and you can't fault the movie for that.
No, the color palette was incredible because
fantastic. Of it. You can't see me right now, but I'm giving a little chef's kiss, going like it was brilliant.
Yeah, magnifico. I don't know. That's my Italian's rusty. Talk to me about there's a fun throwback in this film, or not a throwback. There's a fun connection, an unintentional connection, a movie men connection to a film that we have recently reviewed. Can you tell me what it is?
Huh. I'm drawing a blank.
I can give you hints too. Like I can give you lifelines.
Please, I'll take a hint number one, please.
It was a film that we did not choose to review.
So as in a vote.
Maybe. I'm just saying it's a film that we did not choose.
I think I need a second hint.
It was a film that was recommended to us.
A film that was recommended to us was what film or what is, I don't understand the connection.
It was from the episode where we review Amadeus.
Okay.
You don't know? You didn't catch the connection?
No, fill me in.
Oh man. So when Luca and Alberto first they're like there and they're eating dinner.
Yeah.
There's a record player and the record player is playing Figaro.
Oh.
And it plays for like a good 2 minutes in the background.
Right.
And I'm like, and I'm just like bopping along going, oh yeah, man, this is
right.
so good. Yeah.
And
there was Mozart music in this.
And that's the song you wanted more leaned into on Amadeus, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the song that we didn't get. He's like, I'm writing it and it's amazing and it's going to be so good and we're like, yes, it is going to be so good. And then they dropped the ball and they never showed it to us. But
cool.
Stupid. But yeah, there was a fun connection. So talk to me about soundtrack. Talk to me about the soundtrack. You are the soundtrack aficionado.
You've said that to me a few different episodes recently, and unfortunately it's never been for an episode where I'm like ready to take the reins and blow it off. The soundtrack was fine. I don't think it was as noteworthy as the visuals, and like in a Pixar film that's not a knock against the film. I just think for me, visually, this film did more for me than it did with the soundtrack. But I would say that the soundtrack wasn't bad, and there were times that, in any good movie, that the soundtrack augmented visuals and augmented the story. So I think the soundtrack was adequate, was fine. But if I'm writing a postcard and I only have one, and I got to choose between writing about the soundtrack or the visuals, I'm writing about the visuals in this context. So soundtrack was fine, but not as amazing as the visuals.
Okay. I it was just so funny. We're so polar opposites on this. The soundtrack stood out to me so fantastically. Yeah, well, just because it was like, because it could, it had the opportunity to, and it took advantage of the opportunity of leaning heavily into the Italian ethnicity of the film. It had this beautiful Italian flavor. Yeah, man, everything about this movie, I was like, I want to go to Italy. Like, this town. So I have, I've never been to Europe. Sure. But I would very much like to do a Europe trip. Oh. And when I go to do my Europe trip, I want to go to a bunch of different countries. But I want to do like stereotypical. I want to visit the very idyllic places, right? So like if I go to Ireland,
sure,
I don't want to go to I don't want to go to Dublin and there's like, friggin' Starbucks and McDonald's. I don't want to go to Ireland and see a McDonald's. If I see McDonald's in Ireland, it's going to ruin everything for me.
It'll be a buzzkill.
I want to see a pub.
Yep.
Next to a potato field and something that kind of looks like the Shire maybe. And just like this very like, backwater Ireland, right?
And if a customer comes in the pub and asks what the Wi-Fi password is, the barkeep says, huh?
Yeah. We haven't got no. Yeah. I was going to do a really bad, but anyways.
Yeah, you are a master of accents far more than I, but I could tell just from that first one, I'm like, no, don't do it.
No, it wasn't happening. I was, because anything I can do, I was trying to do a realistic one, because anything I can do is just like, after me Lucky Charms thing. But, I want to go to Scotland and I want to see a castle and a guy in a kilt and I want to eat haggis. I don't want to eat haggis, but
no, you do not. You do not. But and while we're on Scotland, you can do a Scottish accent, can you not? Of one specific Scotyard.
Are we talking about Sean Connery? I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if that counts as a Scottish, because it's just so weird, right? Like when I think of Sean Connery, there's like this disconnect that happens in my brain. I don't think of him. I don't think of myself as doing a Scottish accent.
Sure.
Right? Because if I'm thinking of a Scottish accent, it's like, oh, it's great, and like, all stuff like that. Whereas Sean Connery's just very like, I just wish I could talk without all of this shit in my mouth from time to time, because it makes me, right? Like it's to me, it's a completely different thing.
It is.
But yeah, I want to do all those things. I want to go to Germany. And I want to eat sausage and drink beer, and I want it to be served to me by one of those girls in the whatever the Oktoberfest outfit.
Lederhosen.
Yeah, and and she's like, she comes out with like this, like 8 of these giant. How are your arms even supporting these steins of beer? Like, so I just want to do all these like really stereotypical things. And this movie, the town that they're in and the culture and everything about it, I'm like, yes, if I go to Italy, this is what I want to do. I want to witness, and this is so farcical, but I think it's really funny. But I'm like, I want to witness like a triathlon where part of it is eating a plate of pasta. Like, to me that was so cute. I was like, that's clearly that's ridiculous, but
but it's also a lot of fun. I think it's kind of cool.
It is a lot of cool. But this film, if it achieved nothing else, it has made me want to look into Italy airfare.
Right. Yep. For sure.
So I won't be around next week. But we will resume once I get back from Italy. Maybe, there's internet in Italy. I'm sure we can do the show remotely from Italy. Yeah.
Heck.
Okay. Never mind.
Just work out.
Never mind. I'll be around next week.
we'll work out the time difference.
Yeah. What else? Talk to me about this movie.
Yeah, I'm going to be the Debbie Downer, and it's not even that I have a critique list. It's more, I might even just verbalize and we can sound it off and we can work it out. But when I was watching
You're just
going
to be a jerk about this.
When I was watching it, obviously, and I can't be the only one, but I definitely, how would I say this? I definitely got a lot of reflection or felt a similar tone to the concept and the storyline of The Little Mermaid, the Disney movie. And I thought there was...
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of similarities with the protagonists' motivations of, wanting to go above the water and live above land and being where they're not and all those kind of things. And obviously the film separates itself from that pretty soon afterward, that it is a bit different, obviously. But, there was just something about it that I just felt the movie took this big plunge of our protagonist leaving the water for the first time and going to land. And there was something that I just wasn't emotionally ready for that yet, because that's a big first step and it just kind of happens. And I don't know if I needed... I'm wondering if we needed a bit more backstory with the parents, maybe why they avoided the surface, maybe a little bit more interaction with the parents and Luca. And I'm just not sure what was missing. Just maybe a bit more backdrop to Luca's sheltered life and more yearning for what he wants and why he wants it, and just something to maybe make that land encounter a bit more significant. And I'd say like the first third or the first half of the movie a little bit more significant at times, just because I think what I'm trying to say is my head understood what he was wanting and why he was wanting it, but my heart wasn't there. I don't know if the film did enough for me to go, I'm emotionally understanding where he is. I'm emotionally charged by what's going on here. And it could just be me specifically, or it could just be what was done with the film. And I'm just wondering if a bit more could have been done there.
No, yeah, I get it. We didn't know him yet, right? We were like, he was going on this big journey that we were supposed to care about, and we didn't know him yet.
Yeah, and something else while we've been talking that I'm not sure if it's a critique, is more of an observation, but I'm trying to discern what is different about this film that makes it not as enjoyable to me as some of the other Pixar films. And I'm just trying to think about this film out loud here. We've got Luca, so it's about two juvenile characters who are doing cute juvenile things. They play and they don't have a solid grasp of reality, obviously, so they're going down hills in an unsafe way, or their entire desire in life is to get this scooter, or they have all these kind of perceptions of the world that are very in line with just the way children think, that isn't based in fact, that is based in imagination and just what makes childhood beautiful and amazing. And I'm just wondering, as much as that is nice, I'm just wondering if there's not as much in this storyline to appeal to adults who are watching this film. And I'm just trying to think, and I'm just going to spitball and say, okay, we've got Incredibles. Incredibles is a film about adults living in the adult world. They have children, so there's a childhood aspect that's caught on screen of just juvenile, fun, delightful things happening. But then it's also balanced by adulting that kind of has just a storyline that kind of moves along more progressively and a little bit more, I don't know, maybe relatable to the adults watching. So I'm just wondering, maybe a film like in the Pixar world I'm talking about, that's just specifically about children, maybe you lose something for some of the adult viewers. And I don't know, maybe this falls apart pretty quickly because we've got films like WALL-E that is about a toaster or whatever he is that lives in a dump. So it's not always about the relatability of adults watching adult protagonists in Pixar films, but I'm just wondering if that tone is one of the reasons I didn't like Luca as much, as maybe there was less that I, in this specific case, found relatable or found as enjoyable from a story progression perspective. And that might be part of the reason I didn't like it as much as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't. I think you're right. I think you're right in your appraisal that this film seems like it has less for the older audience for the most part, which is, I would say, unusual for Pixar. And yeah, not something I think I picked up on. But like, now that you've said it, I have no arguments against it for sure.
Right. And just the one more thing these are all just kind of popping in my head. The one thing, just the more depth with the parents, I think what I had a problem with was, give me a reason that the parents are so sheltered about having their child go up. So I know they alluded to different things, and there were various safety reasons they didn't want Luca to go to the surface. But show me that, like, show me the mother in tears talking about Aunt Bessie, or just, I guess, give me more depth as to why they're feeling that secure or that protective about it. Just because otherwise it's a very one-dimensional, hollow plot point where you see this poor little juvenile person. I almost said he's not a person, but you see this juvenile character who just wants to be above land because it's an adventure, and he wants to have a little friend. He wants to have companionship, and you can't fault an individual for wanting those things. And so then you just have him going against a brick wall of the parents not allowing it and not having a reason why. So it doesn't add for much conflict as if we had reasons where, yeah, we want Luca to have these things, but also there's a reason Mom's saying this, and we should emotionally be connected with what she's saying. So I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but there are some.
You just hate this film.
And okay, now the next 47 things I'm going to mention are specific. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What did you find the most emotionally significant moment of the film for you? I'm not talking like plot wise. What was intellectually what was integral to you? I just want to know, like, when we watch Toy Story 3 as individuals, and there's scenes where things are about to happen, and as humans we're like tearing up. Just for you,
right.
And Luca, what was, like, it could have been something silly, but was there something that, like, of all the other scenes in the film, this scene made you either tear up or laugh or just like genuinely fill up with the fuzzies? Was there a scene that did that for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I didn't end up crying at all, but the scene that I think definitely came the closest was when he's winning the race, and he has to stop because it starts raining, and Alberto comes running up the hill with an umbrella for him. And that was amazing. And then his umbrella blows away, and he's revealed, and the net's thrown on him, and you just see Luca's heart break and realize that he needs to self-sacrifice here, and that he needs to, he's going to expose himself in order to save his friend. And to me, it was just, that was incredible. I definitely had an emotional response.
That's really cool. And I think yours coincidentally also aligns with, like, it made you feel that way and you had that response, but also it's such a significant point of the film as far as the film kind of rounding out to being, this is kind of the theme that we're trying to communicate to you, the viewer, and here it's coming to a head. I think for me, it was not as such a well-rounded moment of the actual storyline, but for me, just when Luca and Alberto, and I forget the little girl's name, but when they're at the beach about halfway through the film, and Alberto reveals himself for his true identity, and when Luca turned on Alberto and just totally threw him under the bus and bailed on him, and just the significance of that betrayal to, like, his very first friend and his only friend, really, that he was completely honest with, I didn't tear up, but it got me in the feels. I was like, whoa, man. That scene just hit me. And I think that was tough. If there had been more scenes that had matched that emotional intensity for me and just had hit me the way that scene hit me, I think I'd be having a different conversation about how I perceived this film. But regardless, that scene was very well done for me. And while we're talking about the visuals of that scene, it was like in the sunset, and it was just beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was in the reflection in the water and
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else? Are you ready to 0 to 10 this thing?
I'm very ready.
Okay. Do it.
Okay, so as many of the listeners know, I have 2 rating scales. The one is called Marshall scale. That's just traditionally what would I give this on a scale of 0 to 10? Marshall is a friend of the show, and I use his scale. My own scale, just I use it to drive how much effort would I put into watching this film again. So like top of the heap is get a babysitter, pay money, go see it in theaters. Step below would be like this, you pay $30 and you watch it on premium access. Little step below might be like, hey, I'll watch it on Netflix if I have Netflix anyway. And then like the bottom of the rung is, no Wi-Fi at the cottage, it's raining, you have absolutely nothing else to do, and there's a VHS of it there. You might consider watching it.
If I can just interject, it's something we didn't talk about, was that this film, although it was released on Disney Plus, was released for free on Disney Plus. It wasn't one of the exclusive access. Like you didn't have to, like what was the one we just watched? We just watched Cruella. We had to pay for, right? Yep. Above and beyond our membership, where as Luca was just put on for free. And I don't know if that's Disney being like, we don't believe in this one, or what that is, but it was, anyways, I found that interesting.
Yeah. I think I gave it a high 4s on my scale, which translates to, if it's on a streaming site already, I'll probably pop it on, but I don't want to pay additional money for it. I don't think it falls into that category. So it's kind of in that tier 3 for me as far as how much effort I'd want to put in. On Marshall's scale, so just a generic 0 to 10 scale, I gave it a 4. I could maybe be convinced to a 5, but I'd give it, more strongly a 4.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you give it? I'm assuming it'll be higher.
Yeah, I mean, I gave this movie a 7.9.
That's respectable.
It's beautiful to watch. It's acted, like it's voice acted wonderfully. I enjoyed the soundtrack, and although the first half of the film didn't fall flat for me, I did enjoy the first half of the film. The first half of the film just didn't feel like Pixar for me. But then there was a moment that kind of turned that around for me. So ultimately, I ended up with a film that felt like Pixar and made me happy and was a good film. And so, yeah, and I would say that it's like higher gold tier. It's, I don't know if I'm there to give it platinum. But I think it's, it's definitely better than Onward.
Yeah.
And definitely better than Toy Story 4. I would go as far as like, if I had the option to sit down and watch like Finding Dory, or I think some of those, I would rather sit and watch Luca than The Incredibles.
That's a bold statement.
And
I might take offense
I've always
to.
thought that The Incredibles, although good, is just overrated. I just think there's been too much hype, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's good, but you've ruined it for me by saying it's amazing, and it isn't. So
I don't know, man. I take some offense to that a little bit.
That's fine. That was
par for
how
the course.
I intended it. Yeah. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass things over to Marshall.
Hey fellas, this week I watched a 1991 French film by directors Jean-Pierre Jeunet and Marc Caro called Delicatessen. You may recognize Jean-Pierre Jeunet as the director of Amélie, which is one of his later films. Delicatessen is the film that gave him a cult following, and I think it's absolutely deserving of it. What did you watch this week?
Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you, man.
Pete, and no offense to you, Brady, but it is a treat to have him ask us what we watched this week instead of.
Oh, he does it better. Oh yeah, he does it better than I do. No.
It's not a contest.
Well, it is, and he's winning, but
well, okay, yeah, he is, but that's not the point.
So why him though? Why, like, what the hell was that? Talk to me.
I don't know. I thought you knew. No, I'm trolling. If anyone wants to join in on the game, all they have to do is send us a voice clip. So either email it to us or go on the Facebook Messenger app and send the Movie Men podcast a voice clip. And all you have to do is tell us who you are, where you're from, what you watched this week, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and what you thought about it, and ask us what we watch. And it's a way for you to get on the show, and it's a way for us to connect about what we watched, and a way for us to share about that.
Yeah, and typically it's also a good way to get your name tossed into some future draws and stuff.
Yeah,
your name will just kind of automatically end up in a pile of names that are going to get pulled from, so you can get some fun free shit. So Pete, what'd you watch, man?
I don't have a lot to add to this week. This week was just one of those weeks where we watched Luca, and that would be the only feature film, just with the way the schedule landed. My wife and I are rewatching Lost, so we continued on that march forward, and so we were further than we were last week on watching Lost. But between Lost and Luca, that's all I watched this week. I will, just to fill out the segment for myself, I was just doing some driving and threw on my Spotify playlist, and I started listening to the Sheepdogs just randomly. And I feel like that's just like an applicable shout out, because it's not usually my style of music, and I still wouldn't say it is my style of music per se, but they're a Canadian group from Saskatchewan specifically, and I was just in a head zone where I was like, hey, I'm into this, and it's patriotic to a degree, and I just got into it. And although I didn't watch it, I listened to it, and it was a form of art, just as film is, and I'm just sharing it now because why not?
Yeah, sure.
But what did you watch this week?
See, I'm gonna have to ask you again. Like, where was I at in my MCU venture?
Mercy, I think you had gotten into Doctor Strange. I think that was kind of in that territory.
This is kind of what I thought. Okay, so this week I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Thor: Ragnarok.
Oh, Homecoming. Did we review Homecoming or Far From Home? I think Far From Home.
We did Far From Home.
Scrap that. But Thor: Ragnarok.
We didn't exist in 2017. But
we did, but the podcast did not.
No. I'm like a fast aging clone that
Cool.
I've only got like 3 years left.
Thor: Ragnarok, to me, this is a bold statement to many. I have not seen all the Marvel films, but that is possibly my most favorite.
I would echo that sentiment.
Beautiful.
Black Panther.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep.
And last night I watched Avengers: Infinity War, which I realized I had not watched since since when I watched it in preparation going into Endgame, which then also made me realize I haven't watched Endgame since 2019 when Endgame came out. So I'm looking forward to reaching that part of the of the pathway that I'm on.
That's cool. That is cool.
So that's it. I think that's all I watched.
Cool. I mean, that's respectable.
When we wrap up here, I'm going to go watch some 24.
Oh, man, you are just continuing that trick.
Yeah, and eat a big old plate of nachos. So that's...
you monster.
Oh, yeah.
You monster.
Mm-hmm.
We had a civil podcast up to this point, but now you're just sticking the dagger and twisting it a little bit here.
Yeah, gotta break up my veganism when I can.
Right.
So, which actually, you scoff. For the last 3 weeks, there's been like a lot of like tofu this and veggie burger that, and
cool.
Last night was, instead of chicken nuggets, they were chickpea nuggets with like friggin' yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's been like we'll do like taco bowls, but it's like it's like Beyond Meat or whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, been on the vegetarian. Tonight is total moo cow beef on my. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
we're headed back to the slaughterhouse tonight. But that's it's been it's been a lot of like meat alternative meat things. So yeah,
Wow.
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap it up, boy.
All right. Well, everyone, by that I mean you and the listener, thank you for joining me this week. Thank you for joining Brady. That was a really awkward way for me to phrase that, but thank you for listening.
Yeah, where are you going with this? What are you like?
I don't know where I'm going.
Kind of hone it in here.
I need some sleep. That's where it's going.
Grab the reins and take this thing where it's supposed to go. What are you doing?
Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week. Check out our pages below: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, follow, subscribe. Wherever you're listening, please rate and review us well. It does help the show. It helps all the algorithms. And, the better you rate us, the better you review us, it helps other people find the show. And we'd really appreciate it. We also just love anytime you can like or comment on a social media page related to the episode and just give us a comment and just let us know what you thought about the ep or just in general. We love hearing from you. And until next time, talk to you
You're
then.
so demanding. You ask so much of the people.
I ask only what I must.
Oh man, I think next week we're like, are we back in the universe of Black Mirror next week?
We are.
Gross. I feel like I'm more excited for that than you are. I feel like there's like a certain amount of anxiety that surrounds your life on Black Mirror weeks.
I'm already sweating.
Yeah, I live for that. So. All right. Thank you for listening, or whatever. And until next time. Are you going to say something? Until
No.
next time, just kind of
Bye-bye.
me teeing you up.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, there we go. Bye.